Hello YouTube, I'm back again to discuss more Total Drama, and this time I will be discussing Total Drama Island, the reboot from 2023. Season 2 of the reboot is currently airing on Cartoon Network and Max, and I am watching. Well, I will tune in after I finish this, but for now, we're just discussing season 1. We have a brand new cast. We're back at this old Camp Wawanakwa, but new people, new faces. There are some familiar faces though. Of course, we have Chris McLean and Chef Hatchet, but even Chris is different this time around. Instead of having the classic Christian Potenza voice of Chris, we now have Terry McGurran voicing Chris. He also voiced Dawn. You can see some of the similarities. Now, I will say, would I have preferred to just have the same old voice that we always had, always knew and loved? Yes. But Terry McGurran does a great job, and he definitely doesn't drag the season down at all. It's an adjustment for sure. Like, this is not what I'm used to hearing for the past several seasons. But the voice was changed for a reason. I respect it. It did not hold the show back at all. We still have a very talented voice behind Chris McLean. I will say our last sighting of Chris was in Pac-2 Island. It's very toned down this season. We have a lot less of Chris. He's not as involved in everything like he was there. Thank goodness. I liked the characterization of Chris. It's not the most eye-catching, but I really do appreciate Chris here, and it's just like having Chris McLean back on the show. Like, the voice is very different. It's not even trying to copy the old voice, but this is still the same character at his core. A messy host, trying to stir up chaos, loving the camera. It all works. We also have Chef Hatchet here, and I think this is probably the best outing of Chef. I think it really feels like him and Chris are a duo this season. They're both having their equal share. Chef doesn't have his own little side plot stirring up mess. Chris isn't overpowering everything. It's a nice balance, and they really work well as a team, and like they love each other. Like, all the Chris and Chef shippers out there must have loved this season. I mean, I think they would make a cute couple, and I think it's very fun to see how they do love each other instead of Chris just not really respecting Chef like we've had in a few seasons. But again, neither Chris nor Chef are too focused on here. Like, they really let our new cast of characters take the shine this season, which I appreciate, but you definitely get your dose of Chris and Chef in each and every episode, and I love that. So it's all good. Now moving into the elimination order, our first boot was Caleb. He's just kind of like the handsome guy, and they targeted him because he has the physicality and the looks to be very threatening. You know what? I respect the power move. Caleb did not really have his time this season, but he wasn't like embarrassed as a character. Like, this isn't an Ezekiel Stacy situation where, oh, what a fool. What an embarrassment. You're just here to fill up space. So it's fine. I'm not gonna shed tears about Caleb being the first boot, but he served his purpose, and we'll see how he does in season 2. The second elimination was Axel. She's very hot-headed. We saw her kind of take over as team leader in the challenge, and she's stirring up chaos, but I think she's somebody I'd want on my side as a competitor because she's strong. There is somebody else on the team I wanted to be booted instead of her, but I wasn't sad to see Axel leave either. Like, if this is all I ever got of Axel, it was a good dose. She's fine as an early boot. Like, it's all good. But if I saw more of Axel, I'd be open to seeing what else could be explored here. Like, take it or leave it. Not like, oh my gosh, this is a robbery. How could she leave so soon? No, fine. The third boot was Nichelle. She is a famous actress. She came on the scene, everybody knew who she was. Okay, celebrity. Gorgeous character design too. Let me just say, when I first saw the cast reveal, my eyes went to Nichelle. But in episode 3, we saw the unraveling of Nichelle. As it's revealed, she didn't do any of her stunts in these action movies. She's not as strong as she thinks. She's a total meltdown while doing the challenge everybody's expecting her to be great at, but she sucks at. And she gets eliminated. I think this was a very fun episode 3 for Nichelle, and her getting booted, it was fitting. I would have liked to see more of her. I feel like there was a lot more to do with this character that we didn't get to see here, but fine. Like, I would have loved an arc where she built up her confidence over the season. Like, she got a chance. She somehow survived the vote here. But we didn't get that. For what it is, I enjoyed Nichelle. I would like to see more of her in season 2. But whatever. That's not where we're getting. Of the first 3 boots, Nichelle is the one I was clamoring for more of. Our 4th eliminated contestant was Scary Girl. What a scene stealer. So funny. Like, you know what she is by the name alone. She was our comedic relief this season. She was going around being a danger to everybody. She was our total wild card. Sometimes she'd come in clutch and save the challenge for everybody. Even in her elimination episode, she becomes the wild card with Priya and Millie, who are trying to like align with her to like use her as a vote, but you can't trust Scary Girl. She just added a bit of chaos, and it was a glorious 4-episode run for Scary Girl. And she went out with a bang too. She said, I'm gonna make sure all of you get what's coming to you. Oh, fiery exit. I love fiery exit. I was definitely sad to see Scary Girl leave so soon, but yeah, a good thing doesn't always last. Like, I knew it was coming with her. Ugh, tragic, but what a 4 episodes it was. The 5th boot was Damien, and Damien had an interesting storyline because he came into the show not having watched Total Drama before. I mean, Chris just like laughed at him. Everybody was laughing at him like, oh, you're about to learn. That's one thing I like about this season. It could be very referential of like, yeah, Total Drama is a famous show in universe. I like how they utilize that in a lot of different ways. But yeah, Damien quickly realized, oh, I hate this show. And we see him wanting to quit. He's begging his team to like vote him out. Get me out of here. I don't want to be here. But then he finally comes around to it and gets in the game. He ends up taking one for the team, so much so to where they're like, okay, Damien, you really did this for us. We're gonna give you what you want and vote you out as a way to repay you. And Damien's like, no, I want to stay now. And he's getting dragged away. Right as he decides, I want to be here, taken out. It was really funny. I think this is a great arc. He left where he needed to leave. Our 6th eliminated contestant is MK, and MK, she was the hacker girl. She knew all the computer stuff. You look at MK and it's immediately like, oh, okay, this is inspired by Aquafina in Ocean's 8. Yeah, you get the gist. So yeah, MK, she is a sneaky little girl. She hacks into the confessional. Nobody's really checking for MK at all throughout the season. Like, she's always off on her own, having her funny little one-off scenes. And she's just plotting stuff, like a mini antagonist. Not the full antagonist, I mean, clearly. And she left to remerge. But yeah, she hacked into the confessional booth, stole Julia's phone, and downloaded everything on there. Julia caught on to her thing, and Julia snuffed her out before she could really take action on it. But I thought this was a fun outing for MK. Honestly, I was fine with her leaving where she did. She was entertaining for the pre-merge, but like, what else is she gonna do? She hasn't really connected with anybody on the cast, so like, what storyline is there for you? But I imagine in the season 2, she'd thrive. So yeah, The next elimination was a double boot. We have Wayne and Raj, the hockey bros. They came in as a duo, they left as a duo. They got injured and taken out that way. But I quite enjoyed them. They were very stupid. Our comedic relief, well, not our comedic relief of the season, but very much focused on the comedy, because like, what are they doing in the game? The big storyline here was Raj realizing he has a crush on Bowie and them getting together. It made my heart happy. Such a cute couple. So much fun watching that unravel. Oh, and then we also have Wayne over here, who is best friends with Raj, and he discovers that Raj and Bowie are like a thing, but he's just like waiting for Raj to tell him, and he's like trying to give Raj the chance and trying to go along with it, just trying to be a good friend. It was very sweet and very wholesome. Raj does eventually tell him. It's all good. But yeah, they left at the appropriate time. I would have liked to see a bit more of Raj independently, but I was fine. Like, okay, let's get them out of here. Let's get the actual gamers in the merge going. Next, we have Ripper, and Ripper is my least favorite part about this entire season. What Ripper represents is potty humor. That is something I don't enjoy, and that is something that is pretty prominent in this Total Drama Island reboot. I'm not a fan of it. I know some people are. I'm not. So yeah, I'm not gonna like Ripper. He's gross, and I think he's very rude to the girls on the show. And I hated how he just kept surviving situations he had no business surviving. Like, why did he need to make the merch? This is an ideal pre-merge boot. At least he got up out of there quickly in the merge, but come on, he stayed around a bit too long. I think getting booted in the episode where Damien got booted was perfect. Now, I think Damien's boot was also good, but like, Ripper, this was his time. Like, oh my god, I was so sick of him. I could put up with it for so long, but it just kept going and going and going. I can't do any more fart jokes. So yeah, all that to say, I was very relieved when Ripper finally got the boot. Like, good riddance. I hope to never see you again. Terrible character. Well, yeah, I'm just not interested in Ripper at all. Next. The next boot was Z, and Z, he was just there for a good time. He was not there to win. Please. Z's the chill guy, very much representing stoner. That's the vibe you get. Fun character, what can I say? He was very funny. We really got things going with Z in the episode where he got attacked by a shark. The shark bit off his leg. Everybody is gasping. Whoa. Shark just bit off his leg. And it's revealed he has a prosthetic leg. So funny. A great thing to put in the show. Like, okay, come on, let's get some disability rep in here. Very much appreciate that. I will say that about the show overall. I appreciate how they've updated the cast to be more fitting of the times. Even back in the day, the cast was a little offensive. I mean, a lot offensive. Like, it was. They could get away with it more back in the day, but come on. We definitely need to get with the times, have a more diverse cast, and show off some more stuff. I think they did it so naturally this season, and yeah, that just goes to show with Z, who they reveal his disability in a joke, and it was so funny. Like, you can just slip it in that easily. Like, it's not that hard to have a diverse cast. I think it's harder to have a not diverse cast, quite frankly. But yeah, then we have Z just like giving us a lot of good humor. Probably one of the funniest characters this season, I would say. This all led to his boot episode where we finally get to see him incorporated into the gameplay. They're playing the sides game like, okay, is he gonna join our side? Is he gonna join our side? What does he do? He decides, oh, I am going to combine both these alliances. We're gonna take over the show and vote out Chris. So what do? They do a revote and everybody votes C out. The whole episode, everybody was saying, oh, is C some sort of secret mastermind? And of course, the audience, we knew, no. Just to see it all unravel like that, it was hilarious. And this was a fitting time for Z to get the boot. Such a great character. He left when he needed to. Very fun. The next boot was Chase. He is a YouTuber, very much like the Jake Paul, Logan Paul stereotype of just a complete menace to society, capturing everything he does on camera. I would say there are no redeeming qualities to Chase. That was the dilemma for a lot of the season, because Chase came in with Emma, his ex-girlfriend, and Chase just like never even cared, never acknowledged how he ever hurt her feelings, anything. He was just like, oh, I don't know why you did what you did, but you want to get back together now. And just no emotional awareness whatsoever. I think spoofing this type of person who's become so prominent in this day of age was an inspired choice for Total Drama. It was not my favorite storyline of the season. Like, of course, this type of person has no real humanity in real life, but I think if they wanted me to like the show a little more, they could have given Chase just like an inch. I'm fine with it as is, but I'm just giving a no, like, okay, if we want to improve Chase, let's give him some sort of redeeming quality. And if they never give him a redeeming quality, he better be an early boot in any future appearance, because I can only stomach so much of this guy. Chase has some good comedic moments, but I don't think anybody's sad when he does get the boot here. Like, he jumps off the immunity challenge and he sabotages everybody along the way too. Not to save Emma, but to get a slice of pizza. It's like, oh my gosh, you're pathetic, man. Get out of here. So while I would say Chase is amusing, it's just like, okay. Bye. Like, so one-dimensional, and yeah, you made it so far in the game. Like, it worked, but like, it pales in comparison to the other characters we still have in the game. Following Chase right out was Emma, who was the ex-girlfriend of Chase. She came in the season all fiery, so mad about what happened to her, and like, she was definitely wronged. Very much so. Emma was the wronged party in that dynamic. And you're made to side with Emma. It's like, yeah, duh, we see Chase. We see how Chase is acting. Since she has such a dominant storyline, so attached to another character, you're kind of like, oh, I wish I could see you on your own. But I'd say even despite Chase being there, Emma still does get to have some stuff to herself. Like, she had her alliance with Bowie. That really helped her a lot. Bowie really upped her. But of the characters this far in the game, Emma was definitely my least favorite, purely because of her attachment to Chase. And I think that storyline was a good storyline, but it's never going to be my favorite storyline, because it's just like, you're telling me this guy's so wrong. It's like, you're preaching to the choir here. Like, oh yeah, he's terrible. And Emma is like going back and forth between, oh, do I want to be with him? Do I not want to be with him? And she does get back with him, ends the season with him. Girl. So yeah, she can't be my favorite character when it's like, you're choosing to do this. I don't want to be in the company of stupidity. But yeah, Emma's a character you feel sympathetic for. She had a respectable run in the season, but if I never saw her again, I wouldn't lose sleep over it. What I will say about Emma, though, I think comparing Emma to characters from the past, like, say, Carrie on the Redonkulous Race, or Bridget, who was stuck in the Aftermath drama, I think of all those characters, Emma was treated the best of them all. So I appreciate that improvement. The girl being so attached to the guy, never quite going to be my favorite storyline. But for what it was, I would say it was successful. In fourth place, we have Julia. The main villain of the season? Maybe. Debatable. Julia was a very interesting character. The first few episodes, she was just kind of like floating around. She's very much like the, oh, love and light, peace, yoga, meditation, influencer type. You could see she was kind of high on her own supply too. Like she had a mini feud with Nichelle, which I'd love to see fleshed out. Because Julia was like, oh yeah, we're both the most famous people on this show. Yes. It's like, Julia, who do you think you are? But then MK reveals the true Julia as she's cursing out a dinosaur. And Julia realizes, oh, my social reputation has changed forever on social media. So I can just be myself now and people seem to like it. So she decides to embrace her nastiness and just becomes pretty awful to everybody on the show. She, of course, makes a target for herself, but she's an immunity beast. So she sticks around and she stirs up trouble. And also, like, there was a lot of other people who needed to get booted too. Like, this was a cast of personalities. Julia might be the most outright evil of them all, but I don't know. I'd still probably target Chase and Ripper just for annoyance sake over Julia. I don't think I'd consider Julia the main villain of the season. I would probably give that title to Bowie, but I could see the argument for why it would be Julia. Well, Julia was the most evil of them all, and it was delightful. Like, let me tell you, once we saw that shift in Julia's personality, I was Team Julia. Like, I love a good villain. Like, yes. So nasty, so awful, so vindictive. Perfect. Seeing her get cut right before the finale, it was tragic, but it's like, okay, it's fine. You had a great run. Such a fantastic arc this season. But, like, I wanted more of Julia. I feel like she never really got to embrace her full villainy in this season. Like, she definitely showed that she has it in her, but she was just winning immunity and there was just bigger fish to fry. I want to see Julia going full out. So bring on season 2. That brings us to our final 3. The person who is taken out mid-finale is Millie. And I will say, I don't think Millie's the most popular character. She was hands down my favorite character this season. Millie came on the show writing her book. Like, of course I gotta have a little favoritism towards the writer, hello. But she comes on the show and she tells us straight up in her confessional, like, oh yeah, I'm on this show to study these teenagers. I don't get along with teenagers, so when else am I gonna get to see them in their natural state? So yeah, the first few episodes, we see Millie just like observing everybody and looking at them all like, wow, you people are something else. And like, yeah, we're kind of siding with her because like, oh my goodness, this is a cast of crazies. I think Millie plays into a lot of the comedic moments too. Like Ripper, I think probably his most compelling moment is we see he has this like goal to get the most farts or something, and Millie's like feeding into it because she just wants to see how it plays out and study it. But then when he actually accomplishes it, she's like, wow, why am I sort of proud? So we like see the evolution of Millie like getting in with these people throughout the season. That's especially noteworthy through Priya, who is Millie's closest ally, and Priya's also got her own situation going on. Millie finally decides, okay, I don't need to write this book anymore because I don't want to write cruel things about my friend Priya. So she just gives up on that and goes fully into game mode. And her and Priya are like power duo. They were really running the merge. Like, wow. Amazing, amazing alliance. Now Priya, she was the one doing a lot of the heavy lifting because like she's built for this. But Millie, we got to see her trying more and more. Like, she's not made for the game. She's not good at the challenges. I think she could have the mind for strategy, and I think she could get herself in socially now. Like, we got to see the improvements here, but like, she's totally not made for the game. So it's good that she got paired with Priya because that was helping her a lot. Though I think even without Priya, Millie could have found success because having a person who's like a bit normal on this team, like, keep them around. Why not? Like, you're sane. So yeah, we get a lot of fun comedic moments with Priya like just doing too much and Millie not doing enough. Like, I thought it was pretty funny when they were going on a morning hike and Millie just drinks up all the water and Priya's like, oh, didn't you save some water for me? No. And Millie's like, you didn't bring your own water? Like, they just don't have their communication quite on track yet. But like, they like each other. They're friends. Those little miscommunications and just the differences in their personality were very compelling, very fun. So after they became the unstoppable duo and Millie gave up on writing her book, the threat of her book still loomed large. And for episode on episode, us as the audience were just wondering, oh my gosh, when is it going to be revealed that Millie was writing this book and said all these awful things about Priya and her upbringing? True things. Like, absolutely true. Everything she said was true. But, oh, when's it going to get revealed? It gets revealed in the finale. And we get the messiest finale where it's Priya versus Millie. Millie's just trying to get back in good graces with Priya, but Priya is just like on a revenge tour. Like, oh, I'm gonna take you down, Millie. They work it all out and they have a very sweet moment of reconnecting where Millie apologizes, pours her heart out to Priya, and they work it out in the remix. Yes. Love that for you ladies. So touching. Millie did get eliminated in that moment, but it was all good. It all worked out. I will defend Millie as much as I need to. I think she not only was my favorite character, I think she was the most well-written character of this season. That moves us into the final two. Coming in second place, we have Bowie. Bowie stepped on the scene, big personality. He is our openly gay contestant. I love to see it. Bowie's fun because he's got a bit of sass, but he's also got the strategy and he's very competitive. Pre-merge, we see Bowie struggling between, okay, how close do I want to get to these people or how much do I want to manipulate him? So he gets like in with Emma, they have a little duo, but he's like kind of using her. Where things are complicated for Bowie is when him and Raj become a thing. And he's like, oh my gosh, I'm actually liking this person. I'm in this game for $1 million and I'm catching feelings. Like, I can sing the praises of that coupling for years to come. Oh, so amazing. Probably. Is it the best total drama couple? It's definitely up there. I'll have to think about it. Maybe a whole ranking video. Stay tuned. But yeah, that situation resolves itself because Raj gets medevaced. But then we see Bowie, he's still got Emma at his side. He has a feud with Julia, and they're like having a villain off for most of the merge, just trying to work their way to the end. And Bowie does get one over on Julia. That brings us to the finale where Bowie exposes Millie's book. Oh, villain, villain, villain. This is why I say Bowie's the main villain of the season, because he had the big villainous moment that set up our two heroes, this dynamic duo that we've been following, to go against each other. Julia might be a more villainous personality than Bowie, but she was just winning immunity and getting through. Bowie, he was the one taking strategic, manipulative actions to get himself further in the game, and I was very impressed by his gameplay. Now, Bowie, we don't have alternate endings, so Bowie is not a winner. He very much got second place. I think Bowie not winning was the right choice. I would not have been mad if Bowie won. Like, okay, yeah, you played the game. You played it good. But I don't think he needed the win. The win was stirring up that little drama in the finale. And then he got to leave with a boyfriend too. So it all worked out. And I think it was satisfying for him. Like, okay, he can leave with his head held high. He did what he needed to do. And honestly, I kind of would say this was Bowie's season. I would say he's the main character of the season. that brings us to number one, and number one is, of course, Priya. I really do like Priya. Priya comes into the game. She's been training her whole life. Her parents have been training her for a total drama reboot. If it ever happened, Priya was trained and ready. And so what does she do? She comes on the show, completely dominates, and gets her win. The training paid off. Now, I already spoke about the Priya-Millie duo a lot when I was speaking about Millie, so I won't say too much on that. But yeah, Priya very much had a traumatic upbringing. So part of me is like, oh, does it work if you win this show? Because, like, then your parents win. But I was very much satisfied with Priya winning because she just fell off with Millie. They got back together. Like, that was drama there. And then Priya does take home the win anyway. So it can't be like, okay, Millie's completely sabotaged Priya's win. Like, we can't hold that against her. So yeah, Priya needs to win. But also, Priya's just really likable. I think, unlike Millie, I could probably pick out a few writing critiques for Priya's character, but I think Priya's voice actress is so charismatic. I could let a lot of that stuff slide. Like, I think she gives such a great performance. I think everybody in the season, all their voice actors, were very top notch. But Priya's in particular, she's got it. Priya is so fiery, so smart, but she's also very sweet. She's a total force to be reckoned with. She understands the social game, the strategic game, the physical game, full package. And attaching her to Millie and making them a duo when Millie's got like none of it, like her head's not even in the game like Priya's is. That was a fun dynamic to explore, and to see them just form such a genuine connection with each other despite being so different. I was very satisfied when Priya won the season. She's probably one of my favorite winners. Yeah. So that wraps up my thoughts on all the characters from the reboot. Very satisfying, and it's all capped off with a satisfying winner. So, do I have a few nitpicks about it? Yes. But I would say this was a very strong return for Total Drama. Do I wish in my heart of hearts, instead of giving us 2 seasons, 13 episodes, they just gave us a full 26 episodes and maybe extended the cast a little bit? Yeah. But for what we got, I'm very impressed. And I can't wait to see more with season 2, which is airing right now. I'll probably throw on the first episode as soon as I turn this camera off. So I will absolutely be back to discuss season 2 when it's finished airing, so in about 12 weeks. You might hear some Total Drama stuff from me before then, though. I'm not sure. I've got a few things in mind. So until next time, stay tuned. Bye.